So it's Friday, May 20th, and this morning at 7 a.m, even though Coroner, what's his name, Robbie Doyle, Muppet Doyle from Melbourne City Council, was quoted in the Age newspaper yesterday saying there's no deadline on the action taking place at Melbourne City Square, and that people experiencing homelessness have a right to protest just like anybody else and will be treated as if they're anybody else like protesters. However, he's a large, fat, Humpty Dumpty type of dude, but he's doing these amazing acrobatic tricks, doing a backflip. He should be in Cirque du Soleil. He's surprising. Because this morning at 7 o'clock, Melbourne City Council and the police came through and took away the milk crates that were there, set up as a former shelter. No one out of anyone who wasn't in the urgency that they were in would live under milk crates. But that's their right to freedom of expression, saying that look at the extent that we have to go to seek shelter, because you failed the government to provide us with the housing that is our human right to have. So, typical police state behaviour to go along and take away a person's right to freedom of expression and take away the only potential shelter that they've got to shelter from the rain and in the cold, as it is winter, during their political protest action, which takes place at City Square because it's transparent. Thousands of people who go past there every day are aware of the plight of people experiencing homelessness. So what better place? Unfortunately, government and state and Melbourne City Council want to sweep homelessness under the carpet and hide it. The fact is, people experiencing homelessness, the number is growing, and we're seeing that it's quite evident in the city. If you walk through the city at night time or early in the morning, you'll see a person potentially every 10 metres on a bit of cardboard wrapped up in a blanket. We saw similar stuff happening during the Occupy Melbourne protest action, and during the court case after that protest action, it came to light that the police and state had this thing called Operation Dangle, which was a war of attrition. So during the night when people were occupying the parks as a form of political protest, they turned the sprinklers on to wet them, make them cold. Well, they turned the bubblers off so that people can hydrate themselves on hot days. They target specific people and arrest them and try and disrupt the cohesion of a political action and the political voice of the people who are rising up and peacefully protesting to express their concerns and frustrations at the state. We're seeing the same thing happen now. One of the things that they've done yesterday was give Indy a notice to comply to remove the kitchen, the free kitchen that's been there for 3 years, doing what the state should have already done, provide food that's nutritious to people experiencing homelessness. And it doesn't just provide food, it provides community. People who have been marginalised and who are sitting week in, week out with no human contact at all. We're coming together as a community and having dignity and breaking bread with each other and healing. Yeah. So it's just that added layer of suppressing the capacity for the people who want to express their political voice, removing a capacity for that to happen, because that free kitchen was independent of this political action. But the food there that came through that free kitchen was there for the people at the political action to sustain themselves with food that nourishes, as opposed to the stale food pie being offered from the food van. This afternoon, the shower bus was directed to move on, but shower bus is a bus that's got a shower and it goes to City Square so people experiencing homelessness can have a shower. because the Showering City Square car park is only for people who ride bikes. If you're homeless, you're not allowed to use it. So that was asked, it was directed to move on and told that they'd be fined if they stayed there. Will the Salvation Army food bus be ordered to move on? Will the Orange Sky laundry van that also sits up there be asked to move on? So we're celebrating as the Youth Australian of the Year and adulating the Orange Sky bus for providing laundry services to people experiencing disadvantage and hardship and homelessness. Will the state go that far and ask them and direct them to move on and threaten them with fines for the charity work, the social justice work they do? So that's the update about what's happening on today, Friday, May the 20th, 2016. Homeless Persons Union of Victoria condemns Melbourne City Council, condemns Victorian Police for following out these orders. These are illegal orders. People have a right to peacefully assemble, and that protest action was a peaceful assembly. People have a right to freedom of speech. It says on your shoulder, Constable Fucknut, uphold the right. Yeah. People who are experiencing homelessness have a right to political protest. They've got a political voice. Whether you like it or not, you've got to uphold their right, and you failed to uphold their right. You should be arresting fucking Robert Doyle. It's an act of discrimination, and if the food van from the Salvos or the Vinnies or the Orange Sky isn't moved on, the Orange Sky laundry bus isn't moved on, then we can say that that's blatant case of targeted discrimination against the elements that are being utilised by this political action to engage in its political voice. Time will tell, we'll see. I doubt that you'll ask the Orange Sky bus to move on and you've been caught red-handed, yeah? Shame on you. And guess what? There's a growing number of people experiencing homelessness, and there's a growing number of people identifying with a political voice, and you're going to hear a lot more of it, and you can squeeze a handful of sand as hard as you want, but freedom, that sand will find a way free, and you're going to see the outcome of that.